Hello, welcome. My name's Alia, and you're tuning into Yoga for Stress Release. As we move through this practice, it's important to be kind and gentle to your body. Nothing should hurt, create pain, or strain, and if it does, please stop what you're doing or come out of the pose. If you are pregnant, have any medical conditions or injuries, ensure that you talk to your doctor or physician first before proceeding with any exercise regime or breathing exercises. As we begin, I'll encourage you to lie down on your mat, laying on your back, or if you prefer a seated position, sit up against a wall, leaning into the wall for support. If you are lying on your back, you extend the legs out, let your arms rest to the sides. Take a minute, roll your shoulders underneath you, and simply begin to welcome the support of the ground. And if your back is feeling tender or sore here, or even your hips, you can bend your knees and place your feet on the ground, keeping those knees either apart or letting them drop in towards one another. Staying here, relax. And just take a couple long, deep breaths in and out of the nose. And without judging the breath, simply observe the breath. Notice how it's moving through your body today. Do you feel the breath more in through the chest or deep into the belly? Is the breath shallow in this moment or deep? And as you watch this breath, does it begin to change? Does it begin to deepen? We want the breath to be free-flowing, without force, but we do want the breath to be deep, because the deeper we breathe, the more relaxed we become. And the more relaxed we become, the deeper we breathe. And taking a moment, I want you to soften into your toes and into your feet, to relax through your shins and your calves, to soften into your knees. Relax and release the muscles in your thighs, muscles that support and surround your hips. Relax every muscle in your back, and as you do, you sink a little deeper in towards the ground. Begin to soften through the sides of the body, through the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. And as you soften through the torso, maybe the breath begins to deepen a little bit more as you can feel that full expansion and contraction through the lungs and through the ribs. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms, your hands and fingers. Soften the muscles through your neck and through your shoulders again. Relax your jaw, just allowing the teeth to part. Relax the muscles in your cheeks, behind your ears, the space between your eyebrows, and soften the lines in your forehead. Feeling your body completely relaxed now. From the crown of your head to the soles of the feet, breathing deeply. Now we'll draw our awareness back to our breath. And we're going to work an equal part breath today. So as you breathe in, I want you to count to 4, maybe 5 or 6. And as you breathe out, I want you to keep that same count of 4, 5, or 6. So an example would be you breathe out completely. And then we breathe in for 2, 3, 4. And we breathe out for 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continuing that count on your own, take at least 10 equal part breaths. Again, allow the breath to be long, full, deep, without force. We're not only keeping the breath the same length, but try to keep the breath equal strength from the very beginning of the inhale to the very bottom of the exhale. Begin to notice if there's any restriction within your breath. Some days we can push past this restriction. And some days we simply breathe into where we can, and then we allow that exhalation to fall. At least 2 more deep breaths. So very slowly we'll bring some movement back into the body. You want to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes a little bit. If you are in a seated position, I'll encourage you to lie down on your mat at this point in time. The first couple of exercises we do will be lying down on our backs. You might want a full body stretch at first, really lengthening everything out, extending through the arms and through the feet. A deep breath in. And then a long breath out as we relax the arms, bend the knees, and either keeping the feet on the ground, you can sway the legs side to side, or take a minute to snug those thighs into the belly. Any knee conditions, hold the backs of the thighs, otherwise holding the shins, and you can stay still, or you can rock side to side a little. Simply releasing into the low back, noticing how it feels in this moment. And then we'll allow this movement to slow to a stop, and we'll keep our right leg in towards our belly and let our left foot come down to the ground. And we're just gently drawing this right thigh in towards the belly, breathing into the hip crease, softening into the glutes, relaxing into the hip. For most of us, staying here feels great, keeping that left knee bent with the left foot on the ground. And for some of us, we might want to extend that left leg out along the mat, but really notice how it changes the stretch, the position of your hips, and the position of your pelvis. I'm going to bend my knee and place a foot on the ground again today. Very slowly, we'll begin to rock this leg just out towards one side and back towards the other. Just bringing some gentle movement into the hip. And if there's any of those areas that are tender or tight or icky or sticky, you can hold there and just take a couple breaths as you draw the leg inwards. Eventually, this movement will move into rotations through the hip. Stabilize through your core still, so draw that belly to the midline. We don't want movement happening in through the torso. And I want you to think about that movement in your hip, that ball and socket joint, rotating, circulating. And go the other direction. So we're just bringing in some fluid into the joints, releasing any tightness or tension in through the muscles here. Again, the movement should be gentle, soft. Nothing should hurt or create pain or strain. And then we'll draw that right leg back in towards the belly. And we'll take 2 more deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. And then take your right ankle, place it on your left knee. If your left knee isn't bent yet, bend the knee and place the foot on the ground. And just allow this right knee to move forward. So the movement is external rotation through this right hip. We want to push through the heel to help protect the knee. And if this feels like a stretch already, stay and breathe. Notice if one hip is hiked higher than the other, we do want to try and position it so that the hips are balanced the same distance away from our shoulders. Our pelvis is in a neutral position here. And I want you to notice what parts of your body are touching the ground. So we want the tailbone releasing to the ground here, and that little bit of space under the low back or lumbar spine. Now, if you're not feeling anything here in through this right hip yet, you might want to pick that left foot up off the ground, just drawing the legs in a little closer. And you can even use your hands and grab the back of that left thigh. Right hand goes in between the legs. Chin tucks in. You can draw the legs in a little closer. Again, just find that place of gentle stretch. Think about softening the tailbone down to the ground. And when we do that, it really changes how the stretch feels. Not only in through the hip, but in through the low back and in through the thigh. Pause for 2 more breaths. Make sure the shoulders aren't tightening up, that we are relaxing them. We want to be aware of every point of our body throughout the entire practice. Good. And then we'll release the hands down. We'll bring this left foot down towards the floor. And we're going to stay in this position on our back and drop our right foot to the ground on the left side of the body. And really think about softening this right hip forward, softening the right knee forward. You can take the right hand out to the side, place it palm up to the sky in line with your shoulder. And just take a couple deep breaths here as you move that right leg away from you. Hopefully feeling that gentle stretch in through the outer thigh. Might still be in through the hip or in through the glutes. As you feel ready, you can use your left hand and just draw this right leg down as much as feels good for you. No pain or strain in the knee. Twisting now through the torso and through the core, you may want to take your gaze over the right hand. And we'll take 5 long, full, deep breaths here. And as we hold our twists, breathing deeply, we want to imagine that our inhalations are creating more length, and our exhalations are allowing the body to soften, to relax, and again, to release that tightness and tension. Whether it be in through the chest, in through the neck, the shoulders. We really want to soften this right shoulder down to the floor. So as we're ready, we'll just bring everything back. We'll uncross the legs. Good, just position those hips so that the hips and shoulders are in alignment. And you can rock those legs side to side a little. Or you might want to hug the knees into the chest. Just taking a moment between sides. Notice how the right body feels, the left side of the body. And then we'll switch as we draw this left thigh in towards the belly. And let the right foot come down to the floor. Good, long, full, deep breath. And if you can breathe into the belly and allow the belly to rise and fall as this left thigh draws into the belly, you begin to really massage into your internal organs as well. Releasing the yucky, sticky, butterfly feeling or uncomfortable, discomfortable feeling that we have in our belly. Take 2 more deep breaths. Sometimes our bellies become upset when we're under a lot of stress. You can begin to rock this leg again out to the left and back to the center. Gentle movement into your hip, pausing if you need to as you draw the leg in, especially if you feel a little tenderness in through this hip crease. And then bring some rotations and circles into your left hip. Again, they're gentle rotations. We're still stable through the core. We'll reverse those directions, just lubricating into the joint. And then draw that left thigh back into the belly. Take 2 more deep breaths here before we move into our figure 4. So left ankle to right thigh, left knee moves forward. Push through the left heel. Stay if this feels good or feels like a stretch. Breathing in towards areas of sensation, tightness, and tension. Or picking up through the right foot, just drawing those legs in. You can also grab the back of the right thigh. You can keep this right foot close to the bottom in line with the knee or stretch it straight up in the air, whatever feels best for you. Tuck the chin, soften the shoulders. Good, make sure the tailbone releases towards the ground instead of tucking. Or simply notice if the tailbone releases or the tailbone tucks, How does it change the sensation in through that left leg and left hip? We'll take 3 deep breaths here, 3 more breaths. And then releasing that right foot to the ground, and we'll drop that left foot to the floor on the right-hand side of the body. Keeping both shoulders on the ground, moving this left knee forward, dropping the sitting bone down. Notice how it feels through the outer thigh, through the hip. Your arms can rest beside you, palms up to the sky. This helps for the opening in through the chest and in through the upper back. And then when you feel ready, use that right hand and just draw that left leg closer towards the ground to what feels good for you. If this isn't available to you, uncross the legs and just stack them and take them over instead. Remember, each time we breathe in, we're creating length in through the body. Breathing out, we're softening and releasing that tightness and tension. Might want to gaze over towards that left hand. Notice how that feels for the neck and the shoulders. But again, if it is creating discomfort, you bring the head back to the center. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll come all the way back. We'll uncross the legs. And we'll keep our arms out to this T. Take your feet wider than your hips and just rock those legs side to side a little bit. So getting that nice internal and external rotation through the hips, noticing how it feels in your hips, your pelvis, through the core of the body, through the back. If you need any other stretches while you are here on your back, please feel free to take them. Some of you might want that full body stretch. Some of you might want to hug your knees into your chest, whatever feels good. Take your time, and then when you're ready, you're going to roll over to the side, help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And if you can sit with the legs crossed, I'll encourage you to sit with those legs crossed. I always like to add something under my sitting bones. So a towel can be really good. A blanket rolled up underneath your sitting bones can feel nice. I just have this gentle little cushion. When I elevate my hips and my pelvis, it actually allows my hips to relax and my knees come closer to the ground. So it opens up through my hips for me just a little bit more. So again, if the legs crossed are uncomfortable, stretch them out if you need to. What I want you to do though is sit up tall. Feel length in through your spine. Let your hands relax wherever they're comfortable. And the next time you exhale, just drop your chin down to your chest. Take a couple deep breaths here as you stretch through the neck, through the shoulders, into the upper back. So again, neck and shoulders are an area that we hold a tremendous amount of tightness and tension, of worry, stress. Some people say we hold the weight of the world, all the worries of the world on our shoulders, especially as mothers. When you feel ready, just rock your head side to side. So we're just bringing in this gentle movement through the neck. And you might just enjoy the movement. And you might find an area that just feels a little bit more tender than another one. And if that's the case, you're going to pause there and breathe into that sensation, allowing the muscle to lengthen, allowing the muscles to release. And you might need to hold in more than one place, keeping that in mind as well. And we'll bring the chin all the way back towards the chest. And just take 2 more full deep breaths here. I'm going to lift the head up and lift the gaze. Place a smile on your face. Be proud of who you are and all you've accomplished so far. And then we'll take those hands up to the side and we're just going to move through the shoulders and the arms. So rotate the palms up to the sky and take a deep breath in as you extend those arms out and up. And a long breath out as you release the arms down. And we're going to continue this movement, just extending the arms out and up. and releasing them back down. It's an inhale to lift the arms, an exhale to lower the arms. And don't lift the arms any higher than feels good for you today. So a lot of the time we do have tightness or tension, or for whatever reason, sometimes it's halfway up, 3/4 of the way up. Just honor that. If you are extending the arms out and up and you begin to notice that the elbows bend, usually that's because there's some sort of tightness and tension in those shoulders. We want to try and keep the arms as straight as we can, all the way up and all the way down. Make sure that you're relaxing through the jaw, through those teeth. No clenching your teeth when you move through the arms. Try a couple with the palms facing forward as well. And just notice if that changes the sensation in the shoulders, in the neck, in the upper back. Remember, if we do too many repetitions, you're always in charge of your body. You can stop when you need to. And then we'll try a couple with the palms facing down towards the floor. Extending the arms out and up, the backs of the hands come as close towards one another as feels good for you, and release back down. Good, 2 more. Lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the sides of our body, and drawing that belly in. Next time the hands come down, we'll keep the left hand on the floor. The right hand can slide up the hip, especially if the arm didn't want to lift too far up overhead, or you can reach this right arm up in the air. Take a deep breath in and just feel as much length as you can in through the torso and specifically in through this right side body. And then walk your left fingertips to the left and bend over to the left. Root your right sitting bone down to the ground. Soften this left shoulder away from the ear. So you don't want it jamming up here. You want it to be relaxed and down. Energetically, we're reaching through the fingertips, pushing the sitting bones down and drawing the belly in. Might feel better for the shoulders or the neck to bend the elbow. And it might feel better to look up to the sky or forward. So you decide. Let's hold for 1 more breath there. And as we lift up as you breathe in. Reach high to the sky. Pause and soften your right shoulder. And then release that right hand down. Good. Extend the left arm out and up, lengthening through the left side body. Palm faces the side wall. Shoulders drop away from the ears. We move into the side bend as we breathe out, walking those fingertips out, softening the shoulders, deciding on the position of the arm, the neck, and then holding and breathing as we release that left sitting bone down. Breathing into the sides of the body. Hold for 1 more breath. We'll lift all the way up. Remember, come up as you inhale and reach high to the sky. Exhale, soften the shoulder and release the arm. Bring the hands in front of you and just begin to fold from those hips. So we want to try and keep a flat back if possible. And you might just find that you feel a gentle stretch here, maybe just coming a little far forward. And you might be able to come a little further forward. Again, keeping the sitting bones down, keeping the spine lengthened. And some of you can come all the way down. Let your forehead either rest in your chin rest in your hands or your forehead on the floor. I want you to take 3 full deep breaths here. We're releasing tightness and tension in through the back body. Breathing into those hips. Legs can always be straight. Remember, you don't have to have the knees crossed here. And then walk your hands all the way up. Good. Let's switch the cross of our legs. So just take a minute and stretch them out. You might want to bounce out to the knees. We'll cross the legs in the opposite direction. Good. And then sit up tall again. As tall as you can, lengthening through that spine. We're going to take our left hand over to our right thigh, and our right hand is going to position behind us. A deep breath in, and as you breathe out, twist your torso to the right. We'll hold for 1 long, full, deep breath, growing taller as we inhale, twisting deeper as we exhale. And then come all the way back. We'll switch the hands, lengthen the spine, and twist left as you breathe out this time. Hold for a breath, breathing in. Breathing out, and come back to the center. This time as we move into our twist, you can repeat this option, or you can bring your palms to the center of your chest. You might even just take a minute to push the palms into the center or push the palms in towards one another and release the heels of your hands down so that you get that nice stretch in through your wrists as well. Again, shoulders aren't up here. We are dropping them. We're lifting through our heart and we're drawing our belly inward towards the midline of the body. Stay here. One more deep breath. And then the next time you exhale, you're going to twist your body to the right, keeping your hands at the center of your chest. Good. Come all the way back to the center and twist to the left. Come back to the center. Really feel your core muscles activating here. You can stay in this position. You can go back to this option. If you'd like something a little bit different, lift your hands up so that the heels of the hands come to the top of your head. And for the first one, we want to spread our elbows wide. We want to move the crown of our head up. We want to draw the belly in. And as you exhale, keep the elbows spread wide and twist to the right. Now our hands aren't pushing into our head in any way. We're just changing the position of our arms. Notice if it changes the sensation of your twist, where it's felt specifically in the back. Come back to the center and breathe out, go over to the left. Good, come back to the center and stay here or go back to one of the other options or take the hands behind you and just let the fingertips face towards the back wall. So I'll turn here so you can see. And this time we are going to let the elbows come in just a little bit so they don't have to spread wide apart. Oops, switched my cross by accident. Again, a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're twisting to the right. And you're coming back, and you breathe out and twist left. And coming back. So again, staying there, going back to any one of the other options, or you might want to face the fingertips down towards the floor. Again, making sure that it doesn't create pain or strain in your body. As you're ready, go right one more time. Come back. Go left. Come back. Bring your hands all the way back to your chest. Push into the palms. Relax your shoulders. Take 3 deep breaths here, growing taller, gazing down the tip of your nose. Noticing how you feel through the core of your body, through your arms and through your shoulders. Hands release towards the floor. Let's fold from the hips. Again, one more time, we're coming forward, but this time the opposite leg should be in front, so the sensation may be a little different. Again, we're pausing for 3 breaths. Sitting bones releasing down and back. Crown of the head moving forward. Spine is lengthening. The breath is long, full and deep. And then we'll come all the way up. Great, let's get some movement through the spine. So as you're ready, I'm going to throw that cushion off to the side. You do have a cushion or a towel, you may want it for under your knees. So as we roll onto our hands and our knees, the cushion can go underneath the knees, or again, that towel under your knees if you have bad knees. You want to have the hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Roughly 1 fist between your knees, and if you look back between your legs, you shouldn't be able to see your feet, so move your feet so you can't see them. And you want to try and push the tops of the feet into the ground, the shins in towards the floor. And if that's not available to you, you could try tucking the toes, but whatever takes the weight out of the knees. We want the weight to be evenly distributed between all points of the body that are touching and connected to the mat. So we start by just looking towards the ground here. Take a deep breath in and feel some length in the spine. As you breathe out, you're going to tuck the tailbone, draw the belly in up, push into the hands. Spread the shoulder blades wide apart and relax your head. Then breathe in, lift the tailbone, soften the belly. Move the chest forward, look forward, but make sure there's no creases in the back of the neck. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale into this low cat or cow position. And exhale into high cat. And just keep moving with your own breath, your own time. Inner eyes of the elbows are rolling in. Our elbows aren't locked, they're soft. We are actively pushing into the ground so that we can create more length in the spine through this movement.
whether you're in that flexion or extension of the spine. Let's finish in the exhale position. We'll come back to a flat back. And then we're just going to slide our toes towards one another and send the weight of our bottom back to our heels. So we're coming to child's pose. You might stay here and breathe. If you are feeling dizzy at all today, then just keep your head higher than your heart. You can always let the elbows rest. Good. If you don't feel dizzy, feel free to place fist over fist and drop your head onto your fists. Or you can keep an active child's pose with the arms extended out and the forehead releasing to the ground. Or a soft, passive child's pose with the arms resting beside you, palms up to the sky. Whatever child's pose you've chosen, take 3 deep breaths and really ensure that you are sending the weight of the sitting bones back to the heels the best you can. We're going to meet back onto our hands and knees. And we're going to thread the needle. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see me here from this position. So again, starting on our hands and knees, we want that alignment, knees under hips, good, and hands underneath our shoulders, excellent. We're going to take our right hand out towards the right side. So lift that right hand up off the floor, take it out to the side, palm facing down. Push your left hand in towards the ground and extend that right arm up in the air. If you could look up to the sky, look up to the sky. As you breathe out, bring the right hand down. We're going to take it underneath us, in between our knee and our opposite arm, and stretch it to the left. Good. Let's move with breath here. Breathe in, push into the left hand, extend the right arm up. And exhale, thread the needle. One more, breathing in. Breathing out. Now we're going to hold here. Make sure there's no weight in your head at all. Weight is in the arms and the legs and in the feet. If you know another variation here in thread the needle, please feel free to take it at this time. Otherwise, we're using this left hand to support our body so that there's no weight in the neck and the shoulders. Take 2 more breaths. And then push that left hand into the floor. Let's reach the right arm high to the sky. And release it down. Take a minute and either walk the hands towards the knees, coming all the way up here, or if you can sit on your feet, I'll encourage you to sit on your feet. And just roll out through those shoulders a little bit. Good, notice how they feel. Excellent, let's switch sides. So we'll come back to those hands and knees. Find the alignment, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Perfect tabletop. Left hand out to the side. Push into your right hand and extend that left arm up. Look up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. So it was 3 times in total. We're holding on the third one. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, thread the needle. One more, and then we hold. Breathing in, feel the twist in through the core, the movement in through the shoulders and the upper back. Breathing out, keep weight in your right hand. Good, we're breathing here, no weight in my head. Taking any other variation that feels good for you and your body. And then pushing that right hand into the floor, we'll lift up, reach high with the left arm. Come back onto the hands and knees. Good, and let's bring those toes together, slide our bottom back towards our heels. This time let's take a wider leg child's pose, so the knees spread apart, arms extend. Come as far forward as feels good for you. Let's keep the arms out in front. Let's keep them strong, reaching forward. The forehead faces the floor so that the back of the neck can be long. And then we'll take a walk over to the right side. So walk your hands and your torso to the right. Keep your head between your arms and push your left sitting bone down and back. Okay, come back to the other side. Over to the left. Right sitting bone goes down and back. And then one more time, come back to the center. We're going to walk to the right. We're going to keep this right hand planted, stretching in through, keep the left hand planted, stretching in through that left side body, and take your right hand under your head here. And just really send that left sitting bone down and back. Soften through the left shoulder. Reach through the left fingertips. Good. Stretch the right arm up. Come back to the center. Over to the other side. And again, we're keeping the right hand now down. Left hand under the head. Stretching into that right side body. Releasing the right sitting bone down. Softening through the right shoulder and reaching through the right fingertips. Hands come back, arms come back. Good, pause one more breath here. And then we're gonna walk our hands towards our knees. We're gonna bring our knees together. Now this position isn't available for everyone. So if this is uncomfortable in any way, come all the way up onto your knees and feet here. We are gonna come into a toe stretch. So as you come forward, tuck your toes under. And you might stay here in this upright position. You might, be able to sit back on your feet. Just take a couple breaths. Good. You can sit on your feet, really let the weight of your arm or weight of your body stretch into those feet. Make sure your pinky toe is tucked under as well. Now, if neither of those positions work for you, now stay there if they do. You can sit on your bottom and you can do the same stretch, just pulling your toes back. Stretching into the foot. And when we come out, switch sides. Okay, for those of us that have been here for some time, we'll go ahead and we'll come forward. Tap the tops of the feet on the ground. Good, if you are sitting, switch sides when you're ready. And then you can sit back on the tops of your feet. And that might feel like a nice stretch for the front of the shins, ankles, and feet. Some of you can bring your hands beside you and pick those knees up a little bit, so stretching a little deeper into the ankles and the feet. Deciding to stay there, depending on how high the knees are, will change the sensation for you. If you need to come out, listen to your body. Okay, remember, if you are sitting on your bottom doing that variation, you're still drawing the toes to the shin. Working that second side. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. We'll release the knees down. Again, come forward, tap the feet out, or you can even take one leg back and just push through the heel for a moment and the other leg back. We're going to tuck the toes under again and sit back on the feet. So go ahead and start this again. For those of you that are in a sitting position because knees don't allow us to be up there, we're going to work the front of the foot this time. So you draw the toes back, stretching into the front of the foot, the shin. And switch sides when we switch again. This time with our toes tucked, and if you are doing the option sitting, you can join us. Lengthen the spine and just release your chin down to the chest. So relax the chest, soften the shoulders, stretch into the neck, shoulders up or back again. And then pick the head up and look over to the right, chin parallel to the floor, drawing this left shoulder back. And come back and look left. Right shoulder draws back. And come back to the center. We'll come forward again, tap the feet out. Tops of the feet on the ground, sitting back on the feet. Good. Switch sides if you are in a seated position, drawing the opposite toes back. And we're just going to stay here. We're not going to lift our knees this time. We are still stretching in through those shins and through those ankles. Good. Breathing deeply. This time we're going to take our right fingertips out towards the right side, just reaching them to the ground, and dip our left ear to our left shoulder. And you might want to adjust your chin. It can drop down towards the shoulder. It can lift high up. It can tuck in towards the chest or move away from the chest. We'll pick that head, or bring the head back to the center. Switch the hands, left hand out, right ear to right shoulder. So stretching through the left side of the neck now, finding that position of the chin that will give you the best stretch for you. That release of tightness and tension, right, in the neck and the shoulders. Make sure that we're relaxing through the jaw. Remember to smile. And then we'll pick the head back up. Roll through your shoulders a couple of times. Good, we're all gonna move on to our belly here. So as you're ready, lay down on your belly. Stretch the legs behind you, tops of the feet to the ground, and we're coming into a Sphinx pose. So our arms are gonna extend out in front, elbows underneath the shoulders, palms towards the floor. I'm gonna move sideways just a little bit so that you can see my entire body. Good, and actively press the hands into the floor. So if this hurts the low back in any way, you can take the hands a little further out, or feel free to just rest on your belly or in child's pose if that feels better for you. If you are coming into Sphinx pose, we are holding for some time here. We don't want the shoulders coming up. We want to draw them down and back. We want to move our heart forward. We want to push the tops of the feet and the thighs into the ground. We want to move our tailbone towards our heels. Move the pubic bone towards the ground. Again, move your chest forward. Good, we're breathing here. Notice how it feels in the front body. That nice stretch opening up. And notice how it feels in the back body. And then let's look over our right shoulder. Good, bring the head back. Let's look over the left shoulder. And let's bring the head back. Look to the floor. And then we'll look right as the left ear moves towards the ground. Head comes back, look left. Head comes back, and we release all the way onto the belly. So hands underneath the head, forehead to the ground. You might let your toes come together and the heels drop to the sides, creating a little bit of space in that low back. Or you can bend your knees and just shake your legs side to side like windshield wipers. When you feel ready, release the feet, help yourself up onto the hands and knees. Let's slide back to child's pose one more time. And just a nice passive, relaxed, soft child's pose. Releasing tightness and tension in through your low back. Good, we'll take 2 more full deep breaths there. And then we'll meet up onto the hands and knees again. So as we come towards our hands and knees, we're going to take our right foot in between our hands. And that left leg can stay where it is, or you might want to slide the left leg back a little more, dropping the hips towards the ground, getting a deeper stretch. If you need support under that left knee, add your blanket or your pillow if you have it. Hands are going to come towards the right thigh, and you're going to lift your body up, but not your hips. Drop the groin down to the floor. Now that right hip should be right knee should be right over top of the right ankle. The right toes face straight ahead, and I plug my right thigh bone back, and I imagine I'm moving this left thigh bone forward. Keeping the right hand on the thigh, let's extend the left arm out. If it doesn't feel good up overhead, bring it back to the hip. Groin drops down a little bit more. Good, and just look up to the sky, very gentle back bend. Lift up, look straight ahead, and bend over to the right. So we're stretching into that left side now. Come back up and release this left arm down. We're going to slide it over towards our right leg. Take our right hand in our low back and then twist your body to the right. Take 2 deep breaths there. Good, let's come back, release the hands, switch sides. Again, taking that right leg as far back as feels good for you, lifting up as you're ready, dropping down. Making sure that we've got that alignment, ankle and knee, toes straight ahead, left thigh bone drawing back. Good, right thigh bone drawing forward. And then the left hand stays here, right hand to the hip or stretch it up in the air. And again, dropping the groin, look up to the sky, gentle back bend. Reach up. Good. Spine is tall. Bend to the left, but don't put any weight in this left hand if possible. Lift up and release that right arm down. Take it all the way over to the left hand in the low back. Let's twist. Good. Hold this twist for 2 deep breaths. We'll come back to the center. Release the hands. Take your back foot forward, and we're just going to dangle a little bit. So you might feel that you need to bend the knees, elbows to thighs. Some of you can straighten the legs, relax the head, relax the arms. If you are feeling dizzy, keep the head higher than the heart. And just stretch out through the back side of the body here. And then bend your knees, drop your butt. Good. All the way to the floor. Let's come to a seated position. And just stretch your legs out. Rock your legs side to side. Take your left leg out to the side and draw your right foot in towards the center line. So our left leg is going to stay active and strong. Now push through the heel, toes draw towards the shin. We're activating through the quad, so drawing the knee in. If you do need support for underneath the knee, because the hamstring's a little tight, go ahead and add that support. And the right foot is on the ground in front of us here. The sitting bones are equally distributed in weight, so rooting in towards the ground. Hands in front of you. Good. Legs are active. Let's fold forward from that hip crease until you feel the stretch. Breathing into the low back and into the hips, moving the chest forward. And then we'll walk the body and the hands over towards that left leg. So we're really getting this twisting action through the core. I want you to lift halfway up so that your back is nice and flat, really drawing this right rib cage over. Root and push the right sitting bone towards the ground. And if it feels good, go ahead and fold a little more over this left leg. And we'll come all the way back. Fold forward one more time for just a breath or two. Walk the hands up. Okay, and we're going to take the hands behind us now. So just come up to those fingertips with the hands behind you. Draw your shoulders back. Lift up through your chest. Good. Draw your shoulders back a little more and lift your heart higher to the sky. Lengthen through your low back. No creases in the back of the neck. Just look up towards the ceiling here. Now your legs are still active and strong. You're going to bring the body back. Hands are going to come back towards the mat. So we're still here in this position as we come to a side bend. Right hand's going to start on the hip. We're going to slide that left arm down the left leg. Again, your shoulders are away from the ears. The spine is tall. So you can keep this right hand on the hip. Any shoulder or injuries or conditions, you can bring the hand in front of you. Or take the hand into your low back and roll that right shoulder back for a moment. Good. Imagine that the top of your head is moving towards the side wall. Right sitting bone releasing down. Stretching into that right side body. And again, you can keep the arm here. You can bring it back to the hip or begin to extend it out to the right. Lift it up in the air until you notice the different sensation in through the right side body. And it might simply be right here. You can either look straight ahead or up to the sky at this point. Down to the floor sometimes feels really nice for the neck and can be very restorative for some people. Or you can extend that arm all the way up overhead, stretching a little deeper into that right side body. Good. We'll hold for 2 more breaths. And then lift up. Good. We're going to switch sides now. So we'll help this left knee bend. Bring it in. Take the right foot out to the side. Excellent. Again, activating through that right leg. Pushing through the heel. Add support under the knee. If you need to. Hands in front of you. Good. Let's fold from the hips. Come forward. Long, full, deep breath. Each inhale creates length. Each exhale allows for a softening, a release, and a depth into the pose. A release of tightness or tension wherever we're holding on to it in our body. Take your time, stay as long as you need to, and when you're ready, we'll walk over that right leg. Now remember that left sitting bone still stays planted. The left rib cage rolls over. The belly draws in. We come halfway up so that we flatten out through the back. And then if it feels good, continue to fold over that right leg. Okay, come back to the center. Hold for 2 more breaths back at the center line. And you can always back off or go a little deeper. Use your hands to help yourself up. Good, and then let's slide those hands behind us again one more time. Pushing into that right heel, push the top of the left foot into the floor. Rise up through the chest, lengthen through your spine, draw your shoulders back, lift through your heart, and just look up to the sky. No creases in the back of the neck. Bring the head back, help the right knee bend. Good, we're just gonna bring these legs or feet together and rock side to side. Releasing into those hips, outer thighs, low back. And then pausing in this butterfly or bound angle position, just drawing the heels of the feet inwards. Make sure that the knees don't lift up. We want to soften them down as best we can. Now you might be able to hold the knees, the shins, the ankles, or the feet. We are going to stay upright today. So as those knees soften down, I want you to think about growing tall and relaxing your shoulders. Lifting up through your heart. Good. Breathing deeply here. And then if it feels good, stay here. Or if anyone wants to come forward, go ahead and fold from that hip crease. Come forward as you're ready till you feel the stretch that your body requires, that your body is asking for. And we'll lift up. And we'll help our legs together. Good. And then we'll just take our feet a little wider than our hips. Take our hands behind us. And one more time, sway those legs or slide side to side. Just notice that internal and external rotation through the hips. We did this movement when we were lying down. Anyone wants to work a little more core before we relax? Extend the arms out, sit up tall and go side to side. And then as you're ready, we are going to slowly lay down onto our mat. So as we lay down onto our mat, we're coming into a side bend. It's banana asana. And we make the shape of a banana or a crescent moon. So as we lay down, we do want to extend our legs out. Arms can stay in this goalpost position or we can stretch them up overhead. But we do want to take a moment and take our hips and just shift them a bit to the right. And then we walk our legs to the left. And we walk our shoulders to the left till we feel this nice stretch in through the right side body. Now you can stay there. You might want to cross your right leg over your left or left leg over your right, whatever's going to deepen the stretch through the right side body. You want both sitting bones on the ground, both shoulders on the ground. And while we are lengthening through the right side body, notice if there's compression in the left side body. If you feel pain or strain in the back, come out or back off. Or just be mindful that you're not thrusting your belly and ribs forward, that you are drawing it down. That belly. We are going to hold for 3 more breaths here. Good, so we'll come back. Make sure you shift your hips back so your spine's in a straight line. Stretch the body out completely. Good. Then wiggle your hips to the left, legs to the right, upper body to the right, both shoulders on the ground, both hips on the floor. Maybe crossing one leg if it feels good. As we breathe length into the sides of the body, really create that space between the ribs and the side obliques. As we create that extra length and space in between the ribs, we allow for a deeper breath. We release that tightness and tension in the side body so that we can breathe a little deeper. And just remember, the deeper we breathe, the more relaxed we become, calming the nervous system and taking us towards that state of rest and digest. We have 2 more breaths here. And then we'll come back and just take any final movements you might need. So it might be stretching the body out. It might be knees in at the chest, rocking side to side. It might be another movement that your body's asking for. And then I'll encourage you to get comfortable again on your mat. So you might want to stretch those legs out, let the arms rest beside you. So traditionally our shavasana, you can roll the shoulders underneath and draw the sitting bones down a bit. I do like to have something under my knees a lot of the time. So if you do have a bolster or a pillow, something under the knees can feel great. And then if you have a wall that's available to you, you can also do legs up the wall for our shavasana today. If you are doing legs up the wall, you just scoot your bum really close to the wall, stretch your legs straight up. And you can either have the feet on the wall or stretch them up in the air. Letting your low back settle, lengthening through the backs of the legs, and just relaxing here. So get into that comfortable position for shavasana. I'm going to come out and guide you through a gentle relaxation for the body. So once you've found that position that feels good for you, just take a long, deep breath in through your nose. And then open your mouth and allow for that audible exhalation, that sigh. And repeat that 2 more times to yourself, breathing in deeply. And sighing as you release the tension from within. 1 more time. And then again, if it's comfortable, close your eyes or take the gaze down the tip of your nose. Begin to feel the breath as it moves through your body. Allow your breath to deepen. Begin to feel the rise and fall of the belly with each breath that you take. Begin to feel the expansion and contraction through the lungs and through the ribs. Allowing your exhalations to move you and take you deeper and deeper in towards a relaxed state. With this stillness and this peace in your body, I want you to draw your awareness towards your toes. One by one, allow your toes to relax. Begin to relax the soles of your feet, the arches and the heels. Relax the tops of your feet. Relax your ankles. Soften your shins and your calves.
softening through the knees. Begin to relax the muscles through your thighs and the muscles that support and surround your hips. Allowing your hips, your legs, your feet, and your toes to relax completely. Begin to soften the belly, releasing the worry in the belly. Relax the low back. Soften through the rib cage, through the sides of the body, and through the muscles in the middle of your back. Softening through your chest now, relaxing through the upper back. Feel your shoulders melt to the ground. Relax your arms. Soften the elbows and the wrists. Relax the palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, your thumbs and your fingers. Just allowing your arms, your hands and fingers to relax completely. Begin to relax and soften the lines in your forehead, the muscles around your eye, the space between your eyebrows, the muscles in your cheeks and behind your ears, and then soften through your jaw. Allow your entire body to relax completely. From the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, and from the soles of your feet through to the crown of your head. Finding stillness, finding ease, welcoming relaxation and peace into your body. And just remembering how this feels. We'll pause here for about 5 more full breaths. Your inhalations bring space, length, and peace into the body. Our exhalations release the tightness, the tension, the stress, the strain. And we allow the body to relax completely. Please feel free to stay here as long as you need to. There is no rush to getting up. Although I do encourage you to roll onto one side when you are ready to come up and lay on the side body for at least 3 to 5 breaths, just allowing for that transition back into your day. Eventually you will make your way up to a seated position, but again, there's no rush. I do hope that you learned a little bit about your body, how it responds, how it reacts. I hope that we were able to calm the nervous system today, even if it was just for a moment. That we were able to release the tightness and the tension, to move some energy, Allow it to flow freely throughout the body again. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.